lost continent of Atlantis has remained one of the most enigmatic mysteries of all time. For centuries, stories of this mythical civilization have captivated the imagination of people around the world. Tales of advanced technology, vast wealth, and untold treasures waiting to be discovered continue to fascinate those who believe the legend hides more than myth. But the central question still lingers. Was Atlantis just a story? Or did it really exist? And if it was real, what catastrophic event erased it from history? To explore this mystery, we must return to the earliest recorded accounts and trace the origins of the tale. The most famous and earliest reference to Atlantis comes from the Greek philosopher Plato, around 360 BC, in two of his dialogues, Critias and Timaeus. In these works, Plato gave a detailed description of a powerful nation on a fertile island he called Atlantis. According to him, it was a vast island located beyond the Pillars of Hercules, a term believed to refer to the Strait of Gibraltar. Before its destruction, Atlantis was said to exist in the Atlantic Ocean around 10,000 years before Plato's time. The knowledge Plato shared most likely came from Solon, an Athenian statesman and philosopher who, during his travels to Egypt in 600 BC, had learned about an ancient civilization that supposedly existed 9,000 years earlier. Plato's account describes Atlantis as a great maritime power. It possessed abundant natural resources, especially precious metals such as the mysterious orichalcum, and it had a unique circular capital city connected to the sea by a massive canal. The city itself was made of concentric rings of land and water, with the inner citadel housing the palace of the kings and the temple of Poseidon. Its sheer size and grandeur were extraordinary, twice the size of imperial Rome. The Atlanteans were said to have wealth and power beyond comparison, importing what little they did not have and ruling with dominance over much of the known world. Yet, in one of Plato's writings, he also warned of their downfall. He claimed that Atlantis, after falling into moral and spiritual corruption, was destroyed in a single day and night of catastrophic events. Earthquakes and floods swallowed the land, and it sank beneath the sea, leaving behind only myth. For some, Plato's account is allegory, meant to warn Athens against arrogance and moral decline. But for others, it is a record of a real lost world. If Atlantis truly existed, where was it located? Plato's description places it in the Atlantic Ocean, beyond the Strait of Gibraltar. This has led to centuries of speculation. Some researchers suggest that the Azores, Madeira, Canary Islands, and Cape Verde are remnants of the Atlantean landmass, the highest peaks of what was once a much larger continent. If we were to drain the Atlantic Ocean, the mid-Atlantic ridge would appear as a vast chain of mountains stretching for thousands of kilometers, similar in size to the Andes or the Himalayas. These geological formations have fueled the belief that a large landmass may once have existed there. Modern oceanography and geology add more intrigue. It is theorized that during the last ice age, massive rises in sea level could have submerged entire regions. Some believe Atlantis may have been a volcanic landmass that gradually sank due to tectonic shifts, leaving behind only scattered islands. Others argue that its destruction may have been linked to pole shifts, volcanic eruptions, or giant tsunamis that erased it from history. During the Renaissance, scholars rediscovered Plato's works, and interest in Atlantis reignited. Over the last 500 years, countless theories have emerged. Some place it in the Atlantic. Others suggest the Caribbean, the Mediterranean near Santorini, or even Antarctica beneath the ice. None of these theories fully match Plato's detailed account, but each carries elements that keep the mystery alive. Beyond the scientific studies, more esoteric traditions claim deeper knowledge of Atlantis. Theosophical teachings suggest that Atlantis was not just a civilization but an evolutionary stage of humanity itself, a root race that existed millions of years ago. These teachings describe Atlanteans as tall, powerful beings, perhaps giants, who possessed a third eye, with spiritual functions. Over time, as humanity became more materialistic, these abilities faded. Whether metaphor or reality, these accounts present Atlantis as a cradle of hidden wisdom, a society that bridged the spiritual and the technological. The mystery of Atlantis does not end with Plato or geology. Esoteric writers, mystics, and modern visionaries add layers of complexity to the story. According to some traditions, Atlantis was more than a human civilization. It was influenced, or even created, by higher beings. Some say humanoids from the Pleiades descended in ancient times and established a civilization that harmonized spirituality with advanced technology. Others believe the Atlanteans were connected to the Anunnaki, extraterrestrial beings known from Sumerian texts who sought resources on Earth. The Austrian philosopher Rudolf Steiner claimed that Atlanteans had access to life force energy, known as prana, mana, or viral, which they could harness to manipulate matter, reverse gravity, and power their society without polluting the environment. Similarly, the American psychic Edgar Cayce spoke extensively about Atlantis in his readings. He described a highly advanced society that developed crystal technology capable of transmitting energy wirelessly. Cayce said that massive crystals, called the Tuaui stones, were placed within structures that harnessed solar energy and cosmic power. These crystals provided energy for transportation through air, sea, and land, as well as for healing and communication. Some researchers even connect the Bermuda Triangle to the legend of Atlantis. Reports of compasses malfunctioning, engines failing, and strange fogs have led to speculation that remnants of Atlantean crystal technology might still be active beneath the ocean. Could a submerged energy source from the ancient world still disturb modern technology? If true, this would mean the Atlantean legacy continues to echo through time. Other modern esoteric accounts, such as those from Matthias de Stefano, claim that Atlantis was founded by extraterrestrial giants known as the Azir. These beings allegedly interbred with humans to create a hybrid race, Atlanteans, who preserved cosmic knowledge through 12 great families. They were said to use sound, vibration, and energy manipulation to influence matter, heal the body, and connect with higher dimensions. According to these teachings, Atlantis began as a society in balance with nature and spirit but eventually divided. One faction pursued unity and harmony, while another pursued domination and material power. This division led to conflict, misuse of technology, and ultimately the catastrophic destruction of their world. The story of Atlantis always ends in tragedy. Whether seen as allegory, history, or cosmic myth, it carries a message of warning. In many versions, the Atlanteans begin with balance, spiritually aware, technologically advanced, and in harmony with nature. But over time, arrogance, corruption, and lust for power push them into dangerous paths. Some accounts describe wars between factions. Others speak of destructive use of energy weapons or a misuse of their crystal technology. In every story, the result is the same: Atlantis falls. Esoteric traditions say Atlantis was destroyed in 3 separate cataclysms, with the final one occurring around 9600 BC, aligning with Plato's timeline. Survivors are said to have carried fragments of Atlantean wisdom to Egypt, Peru, and other ancient centers of civilization. Some even believe that the construction of the pyramids and Sphinx in Egypt reflects Atlantean influence. What did the Atlanteans look like? Legends describe them as taller than modern humans, sometimes as giants, and often possessing extraordinary beauty. They were believed to have once had a spiritual, third eye, that gave them higher perception. Over time, as they fell into materialism, this power was lost. They lived close to nature, teaching their children intuition and psychic awareness, skills that have mostly faded in modern humanity. Their technology was advanced but unlike ours. It was based on life force, vibration, and resonance, rather than combustion or electricity. In this way, the Atlanteans were both more advanced and more harmonious with the Earth. So, was Atlantis real? Was it a memory of a forgotten golden age? Or was it only a story told by Plato to deliver a moral lesson? The truth may never be fully known. But the legend endures because it speaks to something deep in human memory, a sense that we once lived in harmony with knowledge, spirit, and power, but lost it through our own choices. Atlantis represents both our highest potential and our greatest downfall. Perhaps this is why the story still resonates. It warns us of the dangers of arrogance and imbalance, reminding us that civilizations rise and fall not only because of nature but because of the choices they make. Whether Atlantis was a real place or a symbolic story, it carries a timeless message for us today. Technology, wealth, and power mean little without wisdom, humility, and harmony with the world around us. If we ignore this, we may repeat the fate of Atlantis. If we learn from it, perhaps we can build a civilization that endures.